Yet another predator would join the pirates and smugglers of the waterfront, the war profiteer. And one of the most notorious of the kind emerged during the Civil War and the federal occupation of New Orleans. Most of the world's cotton once flowed from the steamboats of the Mississippi riverfront. The Union blockade had all but stopped the cotton trade. Then, New Orleans fell to Union gunboats in the spring of 1862. Though one of the least bloody of Civil War battles, it was a mortal blow to the South.
First of all, the South lost its largest city and its richest city. It also severed the Confederacy in half, and this was Lincoln's idea.
New Orleans now braced itself for occupation. The proud old city with the European airs anticipated a certain gentility from the occupying forces. Instead, she got Ben Butler.
On May 1st, 1862, Lincoln named General Benjamin F. Butler military governor of occupied New Orleans. Butler went right to work. He hanged a man suspected of having desecrated the American flag. He closed a secessionist newspaper, confiscated the property of citizens who refused to swear allegiance to the Union, and was given the scornful nickname Spoons for allegedly pocketing silverware.
Major General Benjamin Butler was known for his bloodhound looks and his lack of military ability. He was not missed in the field when he was placed in charge of occupied New Orleans. Soon, he showed his true calling, which was that of a war profiteer. Naturally, Butler set his designs on King Cotton and began to plunder the secret passageways of the waterfront. The general began soliciting large bribes from cotton smugglers. Butler's own brother began trading across enemy lines for the enormously valuable fiber. Butler also had an ingenious scheme for shipping Southern sugar. Union troop ships would usually arrive on the riverfront full of soldiers, then return north with a ballast of sand. Butler substituted tons of sugar for the sand, which he sold for an immense profit. As Butler looted the New Orleans riverfront, he brought out the worst in its citizens.
Butler was riding down one of the streets in the French Quarter with an aide when he heard some sneers up from a balcony, and he turned up to look. And at that time, there were about 5 or 6 ladies up on the balcony who conveniently turned around, flipped up the back of their dresses, and showed him their bottoms. Well, Butler looked and kind of laughed to his aide and said, well, I guess those women evidently know which end of them is the best. And he laughed it off. But several days later, Admiral Farragut was walking down the same streets, and he had the contents of a chamber pot thrown on him from one of the balconies. This did not amuse Ben Butler.
Butler retaliated with his infamous woman order, which made it illegal for women to insult Union officers. In the language of the order, offenders would be subject to treatment as a woman of the town plying her avocation. From the docks of New Orleans all the way to London, this was interpreted as an open invitation to rape Southern women. Southerners began calling him Beast Butler. He was recalled from his post after a multitude of complaints from foreign officials stationed in New Orleans. But he had had a prosperous 2 years on the riverfront.